Welcome back. This is Notepad. I'm your host Ibrahim Sani. We're celebrating the International Women's Day. Of course, that happens every March 8th every year. And this year, the United Nations have set a theme that we want to achieve equality in leadership in women for a COVID-19 world. Earlier on, we've had Salawati Muhammad Yusof, the Deputy Director of Marketing Intelligence at Proton. She is doing non-technical in a very technical industry, which is the automotive sector. We now move on to Yogeswary Velumany. She is doing technical in the technical sector in, of course, Proton in the automotive sector. Welcome to the show, Yogesh.
Hi.
Let's talk a little bit about the journey that you have embarked here. There's a lot of things that we don't see a lot these days, and more so, 20, 30 years ago, which is women in engineering, women in automotive, and women in trying to build something which is in this sense cars and trying to build the engineering world out there. Talk to us through your journey, how you ended up here in the first place.
Before we go into the car industry, right, then I think we have to go a little further, little in front, as in like even engineering was not my first choice, you say. Like my first choice being from an Indian family, I wanted to become a doctor. So then what happened was right after my SPM and then when I did my A-levels, I failed my biology. So, but the subjects I took was like biology, chemistry and maths. What I realized was my strength was not in reading or writings. My strength was more to problem solving like mathematics, you see. Then I went to my father and I told him, Appa, I wanted to do engineering. Then, of course, he was reluctant in the beginning. He was like, "What? Why engineering? Just because you failed one subject doesn't mean you have to, move from medicine to engineering. And I don't see anything you can do, being an engineer." He just didn't understand at all. But I was very persistent, and with my mom's support, I managed to convince him, and then I end up doing engineering. See.
That story is very common in a lot of Asian families. When women doing science is seen as different. I wouldn't say frowned upon, certainly not frowned upon by any means, but just different, something that is not part of the traditional path. But women in medicine somehow or other becomes a norm. I don't know how that happened, but it's been a norm. My wife is a doctor, my sister-in-law is a doctor, my sister is a doctor. That seems to be the norm. But women in engineering, macam, no lah, different, so difficult for you. I mean, that story is so prevalent even today. I mean, yeah.
Yes. So true. Even like the reaction in my father's face to be like, apa ni, kenapa, he even convinced me, he thought I'm making a wrong choice, and he even said, don't worry, I can send you to India, you can do +2 and then you can continue your medicine, don't be afraid, I'm here for you, with all the positive thoughts. He just don't want me to make a wrong choice. But I was kind of so clear, because you see, I when I was doing my A-levels, right, nak cakap macam mana, I was the dumbest student, so I tak faham sangat that biology or whatever,
Yeah.
So I told myself, see, there's no point for me to stay somewhere where my strength is very much different, you see. So I told my father, I will not regret, just give me this chance, and I will prove it to you that I can do my best in engineering. That's how it's big. That's how everything started. So then once I completed my engineering, and I did electronics, and I did communication and electronics engineering. Okay, so what happened was I was waiting for my official result. I already know my results, but I did Northumbria UK program, so I was waiting for the official results. So all my seniors who were looking for jobs, so they said, hey, there's a job fair. Then I said, okay, with all the fun, because I don't have a very big future plans, you see. So what I did is I just followed them. I prepared some resume with their guidance and everything. So then I went to I think the job fair was in Midwell. So I was just giving out all my resumes and everything. And then after that, one of my seniors said, hey, you see, hey, I think ada Proton. I have no idea, I have no idea what sort of engineers work in Proton, no knowledge at all. But I already printed that resume, so I said, okay. I went to there, and then the HR person was there, and he saw my results, and then my pointer was good. So he immediately asked, can you come for an IQ test? So that was on like a Saturday. So the following week itself. So I said, okay, I have no pressure, you see. So then I passed my IQ test. Then I went for my first interview, then second interview, then I got the job.
Setting up this interview, and I'm going to be very honest here to all the viewers out there, you gave me your job description and I didn't know what it meant. PLM apparently means Product Lifecycle Management, and we still don't know what BOM is, but these things, right, it is a critical part of building something. When I was working in CIMB, my boss likes to remind me that investment bankers destroy the world and gets paid the most. Engineers build the world and they get paid the least. I mean, of course, it comes out as in a jest, but there's some truth in that aspect as well. Being an engineer and being a woman in a very tough situation, not just in the automotive sector, but the work itself is daunting. What would be some of the challenges that you had to battle personally, and perhaps give some idea of other women and girls that are watching this interview and perhaps want to try out their luck in terms of trying to build a career in engineering, in automotive, and of course in technical aspects as well?
Yeah, to begin with, see, for me, that was my first job. Proton was my first job, my first career, you see. So I don't have any other experience to have, I don't have any other shield now to enter that new world, right? So what happened was, my job is basically, it's not like I'm sitting in front of the computer and then I have to do some work and then I can just pass it out and then I say bye-bye and come back. That's not what I was doing. So actually, BOM, it's a bill of materials. So I was in charge of the engineering bill of materials. So basically, it's the basic and the foundation document where, if I may say, in one car, they'll have like 3,000 to 4,000 parts. So there's one whole department filled with 100 or 200 engineers who are in charge of each part, you see. So my job is basically to constantly communicate with them to make sure their design is right, the part number used was proper, and the quantity, I must make sure that they have one engine per car, and not two engine, and four car tires and one spare tires, those information. So I have to communicate with people, with engineers in a daily basis to make sure they do the job without any mistakes, as well as they have to complete within certain deadline, you see. So the challenges is basically like I'm facing different various type of people. So I have to know their characters, I have to know their differences, I have to respect their age, I have to respect, of course, their gender, I have to see their experience, but yet I have to convey my message to make sure they complete the task without any issues and has to release, because once I complete my engineering bill of material, that has to go to manufacturing, then they have to do that ordering in order to assemble the car. Can you see? So this is the job scope itself.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about women in STEM, science, technology, mathematics, and more. There seems to be a lot more change in terms of women doing these subjects. My daughter is planning to sit for her O-levels in 2 years' time, and she thinks it's quite normal for girls to do science. It wasn't like that 10 years ago, or even, maybe 10 years ago was already something changed, but 20 years ago, it was not easy. Do you feel that reaching equality in terms of getting women to do STEM and of course technical is getting there in terms of the challenges, or do you feel that there's a lot more that needs to be done?
See, there's a few aspects here which I would like to share. You see, to begin with, before we even go to the equality, regardless of man or woman, go with your passion. If you think that you wanted to achieve in whichever field you chose, use your heart and soul in just go and pursue whatever desires or ambitions that you guys have. No need to go with the social
norm and social acceptance, that kind of stuff.
Jangan tak perlu sangat, tak perlu sangat follow what the social people, whatever been socially trended or no, because anything you wanted to do it, if you just put your heart and soul, I believe personally, you can achieve. That is the main thing, and but yeah, see, now we are in 2021. I can still tell there's a lot of rooms for improvement still. Sekarang macam ni kan, like I'm just entering to any meeting rooms or any department, even there will be like 80 to 90% there'll be men. So when you entering that room itself, it's a question. I think if I may speak behalf of all the women, I'll be like, there'll be always a voice will say, Adoy, do I need to speak up? Because there'll be loud voices, there'll be men conquering the entire meeting room. You see, sometimes without realizing what they are doing,
That's more of the case, actually, not realizing.
Not realizing, without realizing, because from their point of view, they are not doing anything harm. They are not, physically attacking you or no. But it's something very much emotionally.
No, yeah, that's the point of having diversity. That's the point of having a lot more women in the participating workforce, a lot more races, a lot more culture flowing in, because we want to make sure that we are cross-checking each other instead of just going solo, right?
Exactly. See, again, if today we are celebrating International Women's Day, or we are celebrating women who have achieved, it means it's so look like, I don't know if I can say this, but it's look like it's a man's world, some women achieved. You get what I'm saying?
I know. What you're saying is facts. No, what you're saying is facts, because prior to getting you on the show, we spoke to Sally, your colleague, before going to the break. We were talking about women in leadership, and in a lot of sectors, women are already leading. In the regulatory sector, Bank Negara, SC, you name it, right? In MDEC, in Magic, in banking, a lot. But not in automotive, not in technical. And there seems to be a lot of room for growth for that. But I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Sally just now. Do you believe in hard quota, meaning that you must have 30% of leadership of women in management? You must have 30% or 40% of board participation. Do you think that will help?
See, that it's a false way of doing it. See, this is my personal point of view. See, I feel if we have the consciousness of that strength, see, to me, equality, see, to me, even the fact of gender, it's a pointless thing. Gender, why we are seeing some reproductive organ to decide the factor of that intellectual. You get what I'm saying? The gender is needed only when we go to washroom, toilet, or for reproductive system. Yeah. I understand that part. Otherwise, I don't see the need of the gender, you see. And I am not asking for equality of, if you can do this, I can do this. That's not what I am looking at it, you see. To me, I feel a woman has their own strength. Men have their own strength. If you see, right, from my own experience, right, men, when there's a problem, right, there's an immediate problem. If you want an immediate solution, that's where men are very, very prominent. They can do that, quick solution, right? At the point when they are thinking of a quick solution, as a woman, you have no idea. They can see the bigger picture. They'll go into all the other areas to see what can go wrong, what can come, apa kita boleh buat if this problem arise, what we can do better. They will go, so they can see the bigger picture in it. To me, it's a puzzle. Men and women can work as a team in a very better manner. This is my personal opinion.
Yeah.
To say like you must woman as a leader. See, of course, we have seen in the house. Who is that finance minister in the house? Our mother.
Yeah.
Who is the leader who knows what will go wrong and how things has to? It's our mother. So I don't need to speak whether women can achieve. I don't think so. It is just maybe an ignorant matter. It's like whether you wanted to see it or not. At the same time, just now you were asking like for women out there. See, you also has to step up, when you enter in certain meeting, and it's a choice. It's a choice whether you wanted to speak up. Of course, we got to do more still, but if you stop doing what you are good at, that means you're losing the value.
And there's nothing better story than that to actually tell a story based on your own experience. But I guess we have to draw this conversation to a close. I really appreciate your thoughts, and putting together this interview was quite unique in itself, because we have a mutual friend that kind of put together this meeting in a short time, but it was very important for us to talk to women in industries, particularly in a male-dominated industry like the automotive sector, like the engineering world, for instance. But again, thanks, Yogesh, and continue to persevere in a very unique world that you're operating in.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
That was the International Women's Day celebration on Astro AWANI. If you've missed any part of the content when it comes to IWD, we have a lot on offer. Throughout the entire day, we've been covering the story of the International Women's Day. Just go on to astro.com, look for content like this on that particular website. You can also watch interviews like this or shows like this on your mobile devices. Just download the Astro AWANI app wherever you get the application. Until then, thanks very much for watching, and goodbye.